usually more mature. Everything which is SaaS, go-to-market, etc. UK also, but some other countries, APAC, I know less. So you have different levels of maturity, different sizes of companies. Obviously, the maturity of the companies, whether it's Series A, B, an enterprise, a mid-size, you might have in place a CRO, you might have in place RevOps or not. So I'm looking now at the definition of go-to-market and RevOps. And another definition is RevOps and business ops, where business ops is basically the financial side, the more, I would say, back office, if you want, kind of definitions, while RevOps, technically speaking, for me, the definition I use, RevOps is basically the coverage of marketing, sales, customer success, and product sometimes. So the commercial and the product side. So these four bubbles, if you want, being more aligned, more integrated. For me, that's the fundamental definition and goal of RevOps. Now, what I noticed last week from attending RevOps community conference is very much in many fields, in many sectors, you see RevOps as being very sales efficiency and optimization. Not to say that RevOps is not looking at marketing or customer success, but I think there is a trend that RevOps is very much focused on sales. And I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just what I notice in many companies, and maybe it's different in the US again in some areas. GTM Ops. If you look, for example, at GTM Partners, which has one of the best definitions, you just look at that wheel, and I'm not sure if you can show it as a way. Yeah, thank you. I just noticed you just shared it. So that was what I was talking about in terms of the first version, where RevOps is the bigger circle, where you actually have business ops there. And RevOps has very strong data focus, data integration, tools integration. And there you have actually finance, while go-to-market is a subset. So what I looked at here is, I must say I'm quite black and white, from left to right, from RevOps to a more GTM Ops level. And then we'll look at the other definition. But for this one, where go-to-market ops is basically covering marketing, sales, and customer success, and RevOps is more of a back office role. In that case, if RevOps is more of a back office role as opposed to looking more at the market, so the first point I have here is, yes, RevOps is there to break down the silos, for sure, between these different 3 or 4 different teams. But a more holistic market, external, customer-centric approach is usually what GTM and GTM Ops is about. So you might include other teams, other leadership, and even customers into the whole picture. Usually, as I mentioned, RevOps is more of an internal sales-focused kind of internal efficiency role, reporting, also data reporting, dashboards, while go-to-market ops in the next version that I'll show you from GTM Partners is more customer-centric, is really taking the market as a center, as a basis, and everything around will be a wheel, basically. Like, in a way, the HubSpot flywheel, in a way, is also very related to that. Reactive, and again, I'm being black and white here. So team needs, for example, in some companies I worked, RevOps is asking marketing, me, CMO, sales, chief sales, etc. What do you need from RevOps? What do you want us to do? So it could be a program, it could be reporting, but it's very reactive in a way. While if you look at GTM, a pure, wider kind of GTM way of working, you're looking at how can we be proactive to help commercial, product, etc. basically define the roadmap for them. Taking, again, that market, that customer aspect, and make it very agile, working in sprints, working in whatever way you project manage your operations. Usually it's board sponsored at board level, or CEO is actually proactively sponsoring, not just saying, okay, once a year, good job, guys, but actually making it happen every week. So we're looking also, yeah, go on.
Well, no, go ahead. I have a question to follow up on all of this.
Yeah.
Finish your thought.
No, sure. I'll just finish my bullet points. So the analysis, the look back, if you want to look back, okay, let's look at the last quarter, the last month, the last year. What have we learned? What are the conclusions? Product marketing, customer service. What can we bring to the rest of the company? Or looking at the now. While now we're looking, especially with AI, we can talk more about what I mean by AI in GTM Ops. You're looking at predicting, you're looking at scaling, you're looking at forward signals, buying intent, using dynamic lead scoring, using clever tools that will allow you to get all these market signals into a new kind of reporting, which is looking not only at the past, but also looking at the future. That you're looking also at going from a pure growth and effectiveness, making sure that the right things are done, to more of a cost efficiency, an ROI, actually, where, of course, in RevOps, you have revenue and revenue growth. Yes, that's kind of the fundamental pillar. But also now we're looking more and more in terms of the boards and the GTM efficiency, which is another term which is used more and more. Cost of acquisition, payback, all these different KPIs. Sometimes RevOps is looking into that, but GTM Ops is very much more towards efficiency and ROI across the board, across the company. So you're looking also at real time as opposed to looking at snapshots or previous trends. There you go.
We've got a lot to unpack here. So
Yes.
I want to ask, because those who are familiar with the show and revenue architects and winning by design and the bow tie model, oftentimes I've spoken very passionately about how it's important for those who are HubSpot admin to be strategic, specifically by understanding RevOps as a function of the whole business. And it's really interesting on the chart where you have the wheel, how go-to-market ops, I think, covers what we would traditionally think of as the bow tie model part of how a business functions. So you have your marketing, your sales, your success, and that drives expansion and such. But true RevOps encompasses a lot of the things that aren't necessarily driving the business itself. They're not driving net new revenue, but they support the business tangentially. So finance, data, customer support.
Yeah.
That's really interesting to see broken down here.
It is, and when I did my own, the previous presentation. So if you want what you see here, I think what you meant is GTM Ops in this version is very much like the flywheel. Right? It's attract, engage, convert, marketing, sales, and customer success, and then obviously come back and expand. So, and I'm not saying I agree with that definition. I would probably. Definitely, I would say I agree more with the GTM partners' definition of how things should be run, which I think is more of a 360 holistic view as opposed to bubbles, as we could see in the visual. It is more, I believe, more into the flywheel model, which is reducing friction and at the same time increasing speed through the different, I think there's about 8 different areas, and RevOps is one of them.
I'm interested to get your take on the notion in the flywheel, or the wheel that we have here in this graphic, where here we can see that success ops and customer support ops are broken down differently. And I know at scale, companies are going to have sizable teams where they can function very differently from a small to medium-sized business. But from your perspective, what's the difference between customer success ops versus customer support ops?
Well, yes. Customer support, the way we define it at least, and again, enterprise and different growth stage companies will have different ways of working. And again, depending on your go-to-market motion, if you product-led or self-serve versus enterprise kind of sales-led, it would be different. But customer support, you could say, is to do